So how's van life working out? Am I enjoying it? Am I miserable? Is it wonderful and miraculous and exciting? Has it been tough? Do I have regrets? How's the van working out? How are the cats doing? How's everything going? This video I'm gonna give you an update on how being a full-time nomad in my box van that I just finished like the day before I hit the road has been going, and what are my thoughts so far. And then we're gonna cook some dinner over the fire. So I got to this particular camp yesterday, and I'm gonna be here for at least 2 more days after today. So this is the first time that I've really set up camp. I'm alone, but I brought 2 chairs. That way if the cats wanted to chill next to me or whatever. Everything is wonderful. I've been mentally preparing myself for 2-3 years for this life, so yeah, 0 regret so far. Has it been tough? Yes, in some aspects. But I'll tell you this, once I got to the Southwest, which is where I am now, I've had 0 problems finding free places to camp. And surprisingly, it's pretty easy out here to get water, find somewhere to dump my trash, all of that. So it's actually been like, once you get out here, it's easy for the most part. And the weather has been perfect. It is November. I'm in the Southwest. I'm not in the super Southwest like Southern Arizona, Southern California. Right now I'm in Utah. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I am because that would ruin like the next 2 videos that I already have made and scheduled on YouTube. And unfortunately, this video is probably going to get twice as many views as my actual travel content that I've been making, which is kind of a shame because those videos are amazing and I'm really proud of them. But people seem to be more all about the like the fundamentals of van life. But highs in the 60s, maybe 70, 74 tops, lows right around 40, like 37 to 45 for the lows since I got out here. It's been just perfect. I do run my diesel heater pretty much every night. I turn it on right around 3 in the morning, and then I'll run it pretty much till the sun comes up. And it has used like no diesel at all. I've spent $10 on diesel fuel, so that is going well. The van is doing great. I have had some issues with the van, but all minor little things. My front suspension, which I already mentioned in a video that you haven't seen yet actually, was like super stiff, and going over these washboarded gravel roads or super rough BLM roads to get to places like this one, the road coming here was really rough. I went like 5 miles an hour the whole way. I ended up cutting my bump stops in half with my Leatherman because I had like this much suspension travel, and I thought the whole time the problem was the fact that I did not replace my front coil springs. They're still the like 1-ton 3500 G van springs, and I thought that was the problem because I did replace the rear leaf springs with softer 3/4 ton springs. And that the rear suspension, by the way, perfect. It is like, if you watched my video on here's the recipe on how to take one of these box vans and make it not ride like a dump truck, those rear springs and everything I did back there worked out great. But the front was super stiff. It was like violent. And I figured out that it wasn't really that the coil springs were too stiff. I just didn't have hardly any suspension travel at all. And I told you that I was like preaching to you guys, do not put spring spacers on these vans. You'll like mess up the alignment of your ball joints, and it won't be as reliable. Well, after I put the new front bumper and winch on the van, which like totally added maybe 200 something extra pounds to the front of the van, it lowered it compressed them springs to the point where my bump stops were almost touching. So I just cut them in half with my Leatherman, and now I have this much suspension travel in the front, like at the pivot point of the lower control arm. So really it's fixed. It's good now. That's all I had to do. And at this point, I really wouldn't want to do anything to the van's suspension other than, here's a regret, but a very minimal one. It's more of a nuisance than a problem. I have a little air compressor that I had intended on bringing with me, and the whole point of it was basically for my tires. And then also I have an inflatable kayak and stuff like that, and compressed air is good for cleaning things, blow the van out, whatever. I didn't bring it, and I wish I did, because these are Load Range E tires. They're like commercial truck tires, and because the van is pretty heavy, at least in the back, I have them inflated all the way. They're at 80 psi. If I were able to air down when I go off-road to like 25, 30 psi, I would have a way softer ride. But the problem with that is, now that I don't have my compressor with me, if I want to do a lot of highway driving, I want to re-inflate them back to like 80 or 60 at least, for better fuel economy, better handling, less risk of a blowout. You know, heavy van, you want all the air pressures, right? And being able to find a place nowadays where you can air up your tires is not as easy, because like sometime like 25 years ago, all the gas stations decided, instead of running an air chuck out the side of the building from an actual compressor, we're gonna get these like goofy little pain in the ass little inflator things that you have to put quarters into, and they don't have the power to inflate a tire to 80 psi. You'd be sitting there for like a week trying to get your tires aired up. Dude, hey, look how dirty you are. Look how dirty you are. I'm trying to make a video. I'm trying to talk about our life to the world. You're being a pain in the ass. You're so dirty. You're so dirty. I'm gonna put him inside real quick. And then furthermore on the suspension, another issue I have is there's a squeak in the front end now. And I ended up going to an O'Reilly and buying a grease gun and some grease, even though I already own one, but I didn't bring it with me. And I didn't bring it with me because I didn't think that I would need to grease anything on my van for like at least a year, because I just replaced, hand greased everything on my van. So I did grease everything again, and it still squeaks. And I've thoroughly inspected it. I haven't jacked it up and taken a wheel off, but it's either the shock or the lower ball joint on the driver's side. And it's just more of a minor nuisance. I'm not concerned about like the safety of the van, but it's annoying, especially because I've been making videos with the GoPro mounted to the hood of my van, and I've been filming those videos for my new channel that I'm starting. It's called Ride with Meow, and it's just 4K driving footage in real time, regular speed, no music, no talking, and it's just like an ambient, beautiful scenery type of thing. And now you hear squeaky noise in that, so that's great. Otherwise, the van has been perfect. I did notice a very small drip in my power steering line, the actual steering cooler line from Dorman, and all I had to do for that is get under there and tighten up the hose clamps on it, and it's fixed. So very minor little thing, and I just caught it by inspecting my van periodically. I did go buy more steering fluid, but I didn't need it. I had it overfilled, so it dripped out to the correct level, so now all is well in that department. And then the other issue I had with the van, my hot water heater, I went to use it way back in Nebraska. I've taken dozens of showers in the van, especially back at my shop when I was building the van. I'd get so dirty working on it that I'd shower every night. And the water heater's been great ever since. So I went to use it. I paid for a campground so I could upload videos and take a long hot shower, because the water heater is like 1700 watt, like 2.5 or 3 gallon, I think it's 3, electric water heater, which is totally fine for my inverter. I have a 3000 watt inverter, but it takes a ton of battery. It's like it pulls 1.7 kilowatts off my 12 volt batteries. So if you do shower off grid, you got to be really fast. So if I want to like actually wash my hair and condition it and stuff, because you know I got long hair, then I paid for a campsite with full hookups so I could shower. Well, I turned the water heater on, and then like 30 minutes later I went to take my shower and the water was still cold, and the water heater was not getting power. Dude, oh my god, come here. My viewers already called you a nuisance. Maybe you should behave on camera. So what happened was, and it took me like an hour to figure this out, but it was the common wire in my little Blue Sea Systems like frickin' boat breaker panel that I like splurged on basically. So because I didn't have room in this tiny van to put a big sized house distribution panel. But in that little Blue Sea Systems breaker panel, everything takes little ring terminals, and the common wire for the water heater pulled out of its crimp. I just didn't crimp it good enough. And I didn't bring any ring terminals with me, but I was able to reuse it. I just got the wire back in there and crimped it real good. And I kind of checked everything else over and made sure all the screws and everything were tight. So I think that is about it for the issues with the van. Everything else, it runs amazing. And out here in Utah on Interstate 70, the speed limit's 80. Van does it no problem, as long as there's no wind. Like when you drive a box van or any high profile, tall vehicle, I would assume any RV is the same way. If you're driving a big box down the highway, if you have a strong headwind or crosswind, it really blows you around. But if there's no wind, it's great. I can keep up with traffic 80 miles an hour, no problem. Van has plenty of power and it does it well. So I was super concerned with my transmission after I did a service on it and saw how much just clutch material and crap was in the pan. Transmission's definitely seen some abuse over the years. It was a U-Haul. It's probably towed lots of things. I towed something with it once, actually, after I first got it. And knock on wood, it's been perfect. No issues at all with the transmission. It's done great. I've gone over like at least 3 pretty serious mountain passes in Colorado and steep stuff, and driven it on crazy trails and off-road and everything. It's been fine. So it's hanging in there. The shocks I put on the van, not impressed, and I knew that. They're just Monroe reflex shocks. So one day, if I have money, which, I'd have to get a job, honestly, to do any more upgrades to this van, but I'd probably upgrade the shocks, and I would probably put a rear sway bar on it, just for a little bit more stability. But it's not as bad now that I'm used to driving it as I initially. It's not as big of it's not as high up on the list as it was initially. But stop climbing up my bike. You're gonna knock my bike over and you're gonna get hurt. Are you a cat or a monkey? But they do make really nice looking aftermarket rear sway bar kits for these vans. They're just really expensive. They're like $500. So that's, if I really wanted to like really improve on the suspension of this van, I would probably do that. And then definitely some much nicer shocks. And you know what? After I stopped traveling like hundreds of miles trying to get across whole states, I really haven't been burning through that much fuel. Yeah, it only gets like 13 miles per gallon, but if you're not driving a ton, go inside. Go inside. Here, play with your toys. Go get it. The fuel mileage it's not that bad, honestly. When you get to drive your whole house and everything you own everywhere with you, you can't expect 20, 30 miles to a gallon. My water tank, I've only filled it like twice. 3 times, I take that back. But the third time it wasn't even that empty, so it was convenient. The Maverick in the town that I'm close to has potable water accessible for people and a dump station and trash dumpster and everything. It's great. So I've I haven't stayed put for more than like 4 days at a time yet. But if I were to have a full water tank, a full fridge, I could probably stay somewhere for almost 2 weeks, I bet. The biggest motivating factor for me as far as moving, other than just my desire to explore and travel and see things, is my batteries. And this I actually would, it hasn't been a problem yet, but I would consider this maybe a regret, is not bringing that generator that I had. And the reason I didn't bring it, and I explained this a few videos ago, is I waited until literally the day before I left to actually try to start the thing, and it wouldn't start. It had spark, but it just wouldn't start. So I pulled the carburetor off and I blew it out. When I went to put it back on with a 1/4-inch ratchet and a 10mm socket, I just broke the threads I stripped the threads out of the carburetor that holds the bolt that holds the bowl on the carburetor. It was a Ryobi 1800 watt inverter generator. And it was like brand new. It looked like perfectly clean. Had Bluetooth and crap. All I would need a generator for is to operate my battery charger. My van's built with an inverter charger, so all I got to do is plug into shore power, and my inverter actually will charge my batteries at 45 amps. And that's all I would need a generator for, and then I can run everything else off the battery. No AC, and I don't regret that yet. I don't think I will. As long as I can stay up in the mountains or head up north to Canada or something in the summertime, I don't think I'll need it. Especially out here, I've been using my diesel heater every night. This weather is just phenomenal. I can't say enough good about how awesome the weather is out here. It is a little dry. The humidity is like 17% out here, so been using a lot more like lip balm and hand lotion and crap. The air is pretty dry, and I've been like, when I blow my nose in the mornings, it's kind of bloody. But I don't really want to run like a humidifier in the van or nothing. Another benefit to the weather is I don't have any concerns about like mold or any of that, you know. So perfect weather. I could stay put longer if I had a generator. Someday I'll get one or fix the one that I have. Suspension could be better, but it's not a off-road vehicle. It's just a van, you know. Tires. These are probably the best tires I've ever owned. I had BFG all-terrain KO2s on my truck that I used to have, and they were like really, really good. I think these are better. Or it's just an illusion that they're better because the van weighs more than my truck did, but these tires get around freaking amazing. I've never slipped like on anything. I mean, I haven't driven through a whole lot more than just dirt. I have driven on snow and mud and sand and stuff, but for the most part, I'm trying to avoid like the nasty stuff, but I'm really impressed with these tires. They are a little loud on the highway, but that's what you get when you get an aggressive tire. And I'm really hoping that they last me at least 3-4 years because I can't afford new ones anytime soon. I'll have to get another full-time job basically if anything on this van breaks. I hit the road with pretty much no money. Originally I wasn't going to leave until around New Year's, but I was just so anxious and miserable that I decided to get out sooner than later and quit my job months sooner than I intended on doing. And I have no regrets in that department because life has been freaking amazing this whole time. So we'll cut to, I'm gonna go explore the area a little bit. I already have been hiking around, but I'm gonna hop on my bike and go just see what I can find over there. And then we're gonna cook some dinner over the fire in my cast iron. And then I'll talk about more things about van life. So I haven't done a van tour video because my van is always a mess. I don't know if that's just me or if that's normal, but I think my van looks a lot bigger on camera than it really is in person. I have it on wide angle right now, but it's a tiny van. But this is pretty typical of what you see at the moment. When I'm parked, I put all these things on my driver's seat, and then when I drive, they go on the bed. Trash can's outside right now, but normally it's hanging there to the right of the sink. I have to sweep my van like 8 times a day because litter box. The bed's always a mess. It's never made. Pretty typical. This drawer right here I have completely full of all my camera equipment and stuff. I have this little organizer tray and then it's stuff underneath. But when I drive, if I hang a right turn too fast or a curve, it swings open and it's really annoying. I either need to adjust the tracks so they're at a pitch or put a latch on that. The other drawers stay shut, though. Cats just nap in the afternoon. They just lay around, and then so do I. I just kind of do what they do. I don't lick myself, but, you know. My spiritual guru asked me if I had learned anything from my cats. I said, well, the young one plays constantly, and the old one just lays around all day. And she said, well, there you go. Play more, relax more. It's about 2:45. It's 74 degrees outside. I'm about 85% charged. I should be at least 90 by the end of the day. It's 4:15 and the sun's starting to go down and it's already getting colder out. I switched to my shotgun mic because after reviewing my footage from earlier today, I'm having problems with my wireless mic. The audio demons strike again. I'm kind of bummed about it too. I don't know if it's the USB cable I was using or if it's the mics themselves, but I bought the Rode Wireless Pro, which are like, I recall spending at least $300 on those mics, and I've had this problem going on for a while now, and I tried the other transmitter because it's a 2-pack. Like, if I ever wanted to interview someone, that's the mics I would want to use, but it seems to be happening with both of them, and it's intermittent, so I don't know if it's the actual receiver or if it's the USB cable, but now I'm using my shotgun mic, which is also a Rode. I have had those mics for over a year now, and I've been just beating the crap out of them as well. Another regret. There's only a few, but not investing in my actual YouTube channel as far as my video and audio equipment. And I knew that. I've always had a shopping list or whatever, but I'll figure these problems out moving forward. But my drone is ancient too. It's a Mini 2. I'd love to get a Mini 4 or even a Mavic. Something that can actually follow me. You know, the Mini 3 and 4 have active track, so if I was like riding my bike or hiking or driving my van, I could have the drone actually follow me around, which would be sweet. But they're like $1,000 now, so you know. Put my hoodie on because I'm actually kind of chilly already. It doesn't get super cold at night here, but it cools down real fast. I think it's the low humidity, you know, the air doesn't retain any heat. All this wood was here when I got here. I just chopped it all up. I think it's like cedar, but and then this stuff here is pine. And there was wood at the last place I camped too, which was pretty convenient. So dinner tonight is this. Chicken and fajita veggies from Safeway. And it was buy one, get one free, and that's exactly what I did, so this will be my second one. They had steak ones too, but they were a lot more expensive. One thing I really love now that I'm traveling is Safeway. It's like they have the best food. I'm from Omaha, and Safeway has better food than like every grocery store where I come from. There's only like a Kroger variant near where I am now. I'm by a little town, and they don't have a Walmart either or nothing. And I don't like the Kroger stores at all. It's not good food. But Safeway, it's awesome. Whenever I pass through a town that has one of those, I'll be sure to stock up. At least the couple that I've been to have had really good food. I'm sure there's, it's probably not totally consistent everywhere. But one of the little, just magical little things about traveling is you get to try new things. So I packed the inside of my van really well and took my time with it. It's like perfect. But back here, it's a damn mess, and it's just something I should have done a better job with and took more time doing, was actually packing my van. So I just have these two large totes, and they're both full of crap, and then just miscellaneous things packed all around it. And I've got everything I need here except for a generator and a compressor, which would have been great. But it's just really inconvenient to get to any of that. I did design my van, if you watched all my builds, where I can lift my mattress and the bed platform hinges open so I can get in here without actually having to get out, come back here, open this all up, move my bike, all of that. But just the way that I have it packed, it's not convenient to do that either. And I ended up putting a computer monitor and a sound bar at the foot of my bed. So to like lift the mattress is kind of a hassle too, because everything's just packed in there so tight, And this is all just kind of a mess because I've been camping here. When I actually pack up to go somewhere else, I, pack it all up. And my other cat comes out too, but she's still kind of scared of things right now. She comes out and then just kind of sits around, looks around, and then basically starts climbing me. So she's chilling in the van, which is fine because having the van to herself without him in there is a good thing for her as well. Give her a little break from him, So there really is nothing bad about this lifestyle for me. And all of my stresses and issues are all self-inflicted. The only days I've really felt super stressed out is when I've traveled too much. When I'm trying to get too far or do too much in a day. And I can usually tell before that happens just by observing the cats. Because if I drive more than a couple hours, I can tell that the cats are getting kind of stressed out about it. And then I know it's like time to just find somewhere and shut her down. So some days are just super chill where I don't go anywhere, and some days are super adventurous where I go explore something or go somewhere new. But I am just full of nothing but excitement, and I'm just looking forward to everything that I'm going to be seeing. Every day I look at maps, Google Satellite View, and Onyx Off-Road. Both of those things I use frequently for just finding where to go and finding dispersed camping and boondocking opportunities. Out here where I am, I don't even really need Onyx at the moment because it's very obvious. You look at just Google Maps, Google Satellite, and you can see where dispersed camping is. You find a dirt road that's BLM something, and then you look at that road and you can see all kinds of tire tracks and pull-offs coming off the road, and that's, obvious places to go camp. I have no desire to, or haven't had the need to, I should say, do any kind of like stealth camping in a city or nothing. Obviously, there's nothing stealth about my van, but just, you know, I plan my travels accordingly for being able to just camp for free wherever I go. I've paid for 3 campgrounds since I've been on the road, and one of them I wasn't totally stoked on, and that's just because I was traveling through a part of Colorado where I couldn't camp for free, and that's just how it worked out, and that's what you saw in my last video. But since then, it's totally optional, and I've been just enjoying every bit of this. It's awesome. And so far, I do love the solitude. I'm sure I'll get lonely at some point, but lately I just like my peace, and you know, I have so much I need to work on, you know, in my own life, that I'm totally cool with being absolutely alone for days and days, and my only interactions I have are with like cashiers and gas station attendants and stuff, you know. It's not bad. And these guys pretty much keep me company, so I'm never truly alone. But half of my dream all these years is just this, like being out in the middle of nowhere and not having to leave for, I mean, if I wanted to stay here for 14 days, I could. But I do get bored, and there is so much I want to see that, you know, I only stay somewhere for a few days at a time, then I move on. But I am just enjoying every minute of this life that I have now. I mean, cedar and pine aren't ideal, like, cooking woods to use, but, you know, it's available, so whatever. Plus, I'm doing this in a cast iron. I'm not, like, barbecuing this stuff, you know. I'm at 88% battery. Maybe I'll make it to 90 before the sun goes down. But I'll probably run it down to 70 overnight. But that's okay. I shut the inverter off when I go to bed. But I leave the Starlink on pretty much all the time. And then around 3 in the morning or something, I'll kick the diesel heater on, which really doesn't take a lot of power. It's just the initial startup with the glow plug and then the fan. And then the cat's water fountain runs all night, takes like no power at all. And the fridge is always on. The whole battery thing is like gaining and losing weight. You gain weight without even thinking about it, and it seems to happen overnight. But then when you go to lose weight, you pretty much watch every pound and pay close attention to it. So it's like that with the battery, but opposite. You drain them without even thinking about it. And then when it's time to charge them up, you're really watching that percentage. Watching those amps. So I don't have any tortillas, and this is like the 3rd time that I've made fajita stuff. Fajita-like dinner. But that's okay. I just eat it, you know. It's healthier that way. Oh yeah. It's ready. So I purposefully did not integrate a microwave into my van build because I decided that forcing myself to cook would actually improve my health. I don't know. I ate frozen meals for like a year straight once. And having a super busy lifestyle where you're like working full time, building a van, you know, just constantly busy, you end up just doing whatever's convenient. It's not always healthy for you. So I've been forcing myself to cook every meal, pretty much. And so far I've been really enjoying it, actually. If I'm having such a busy travel day where I don't have time to cook, then I just won't eat. There's actually nothing wrong with that. It's actually really good for you as long as you're not already skinny and like nutritionally deficient, you know. But for me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with skipping a meal here and there. Looks like the moon is about halfway now. It's waxing. I've been watching it every night. The stars that I see now is enough of a reason on its own to want a life like this. When you're living in the city, you don't see the stars like I do now. Definitely makes you feel small. That's a good thing. When you're in a place as quiet as this, you notice like every bird, every airplane, every bug, like you really tune in to your surroundings. And if you're somebody who's suffered with like any sort of anxiety problem, this is the fix right here. Just come out to the middle of nowhere. And if you don't have Starlink like me, then you can't even look at your phone because everywhere I go there's no reception. And that is fine. Alright, so I'm going to enjoy this dinner, and then I'm going to enjoy that fire. Maybe I'll have a cigar or some tea, or both. And then I'm going to enjoy the stars, and then I'm going to just get some sleep. And that's it. That's my life now. I wanted to make a Wednesday video for you guys. I've just been too busy, you know. Exploring and adventuring and making my Saturday videos for you. But I'll make more videos similar to this, maybe with way better audio. I do apologize for all the weird stuff going on with that. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching, and tune in Saturday for my next, you know, my next travel adventure video. I still do things like this in them videos, you know. I do believe I grilled some pork chops in the next video you're going to see. But thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. I hope you're all doing well. And subscribe if you haven't already. That would help me out a lot. And stay tuned for the next one. Take care.